time to be part of this Indiana program, but you said it, Max. Morehead State, much improved, trying to play spoiler.
All right, Indiana wins the tip, and we're underway. Chloe Moore McNeil handles up top. Now over to Garzon, a very talented freshman. Holmes working down low in the post.
Yeah, she's gotten so much better with that left hand, even on the right block, able to use the offhand.
Yeah, that's certainly where Holmes spends a majority of her time. Now our first look at the Eagles on offense. Sandra Lynn, a distributor for Morehead State. Now a drive from Corley. Kick back out to the sharpshooter Charles. And the rebound to the Indiana Hoosiers. Sydney Parrish, the Oregon transfer, pushing for the Hoosiers. And a kick back out. Feed down low, and we've got our first foul call of the game by one of our umpires down there, Frank Sterator.
Yeah, and that was another post feed to Holmes there. She's going to be wanting to establish herself on either block for the entire game, averaging over 20 on the season, and she's been the key to all their success this season.
Inbound to Scalia, just inside the three-point arc. And we've got a foul called on the rebound attempt there. That should go on Sydney Parrish, her first.
It's a deep Indiana team, though, Max. I mean, they came into this season knowing that they had 6 players that could all start, and Sydney Parrish is now getting her opportunity in the starting lineup with no Grace Berger.
Yeah, the 2020 Indiana Miss Basketball. She's the 5th Miss Basketball to play for IU. Isabel Gonzalez working on Holmes, getting all the way down low. Tries to kick over, but it's stolen away. Sarah Scalia pushing for the Hoosiers. Feed to Holmes, no good, but a foul call.
Yeah, textbook bounce pass to lead Holmes to the rim, unable to finish. She runs the floor extremely well, too. She knows where she can get her easy opportunities, and that's in transition.
So first free throws of the game for either squad. It'll be Mackenzie Holmes heading to the line. First one good for Holmes. Shoots 67% from the charity stripe. The senior really just growing. It's an upward trend all throughout her career, Zach.
This offense goes through her. They play inside out, and now with this team specifically, they've surrounded her with excellent perimeter shooting, and it's led to a perfect start to their season.
Lynn directing the offense for Morehead State. Now Charles takes the screen, driving in with her right. Stolen away once again by Indiana. Moore McNeil finds Parrish back over, and it's going to head the other way again.
Yeah, just a little too unselfish there. Parrish looked like she could have gone over the top for the lay-in, but just trying to share the sugar. Out of bounds, Indiana retains.
Same spot Scalia got last time. Once again, shot off the mark this time from Parrish. Once again, the Eagles will set up. Sandra Lynn first in the Ohio Valley Conference in assists. She's got 54 on the year, a fantastic distributor for this Morehead State squad. Sophie Benaruga working down low, going up with her right. Just a little too strong. Lead pass up ahead for Indiana. They've been pushing all game, Zach.
They really have.
Foul called. That'll stay on the floor, though.
Even when they run, even though they have the chance to slow it down, I mean, Mackenzie Holmes is still going to try and face up on her defender, one of the taller players out there.
So our first substitution of the game, Haley Rhodes. Interesting about her, one of 2 twins. Now Holmes down low, working on Gonzalez. Gets it to go in the foul.
It's impeccable footwork, even met by 2 defenders, still got to the left hand, and I mean, seemingly all season, that's just what she seemed to go to the majority of the time, and you see the step through, the pump fake, and the ability to finish through contact.
Just such a refined skill for Holmes down in the post. She's been a big part of the success that Indiana has had over the last few years. IU coming off 2 straight appearances in the NCAA Sweet 16. 24-9 last year.
It just helps to be running your offense through. There's a lane violation. The conferences in the Big Ten, leader in field goal percentage. I mean, she knows how to get her opportunities and finish.
Yeah. So Morehead State will head back down, try and get on the board. Benaruga decides to take it, runs straight into the wall that is Yardon Garzon. So the kick back out to Lynn. Lynn trying to find something, but the Hoosiers just not letting any penetration through. A step back from Charles, got it to go. And that's the kind of special spark that Coach Petrie of the Morehead State squad says Veronica Charles brings.
Yeah, that was great separation she gained there on the step back. This team's leading scorer and the leading three-point marksman in the conference.
Garzon trying to match on the other end, and she does.
Yeah, and she's quite the spot-up threat herself.
So the Eagles get on the board, and then the very talented freshman comes back on the other end and matches that three. So back to a 6-point lead for Indiana. Rhodes driving, runs into a double team. A feed down low, picked off there by Sydney Parrish. Hoosiers pushing the tempo on the fast break. Garzon with plenty of space again, got it to go.
She's already on fire, Max. Another one of those players that just knows her spots on the court where she's comfortable and where she can get open.
She scored double figures in 5 games this year. She's had multiple assists every game. She can really do it all. Up to a 9-point lead. Drive from Rhodes, puts it up with the left, no good, but she'll head to the line.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Behind the back.
So Scalia on the other end after a long, empty possession by Morehead State. Parrish taking Lynn. Nice little bounce pass down low. It'll stay with the Hoosiers. Out of bounds off the Eagles.
The ball is really popping right now for Indiana. Everyone getting a touch each time on offense, and that time Meister just unable to corral the pass, but Parrish had the right idea, trying to make the pocket feed.
So the Indiana, some of their bench unit does a great job even expanding this lead. And then, of course, Mackenzie Holmes comes right back in, along with our first look at Alyssa Geary. Inbounds once again. This time, Scalia gets it to go. That's the 3rd time we've seen that inbound play drawn up. Finally, the Hoosiers convert there with the transfer from Minnesota, knocking down the 2.
And it's not an easy shot for a right-handed jump shooter to fade right and hit all net like that, but you see the versatility there and the skill.
Melissa Secchiaroli checking in for the first time in this game. Charles up top, driving, forcing one up again, can't get it to fall as she takes a tumble to the ground. It's Lexus Bargesser, the freshman, feeding down low. Nice find. Geary able to finish up the play, and she'll head to the line for a chance for one more.
That's just more outstanding movement on the baseline there from Geary, and the pass inside was perfect. Another and one for Indiana.
This team very good at distributing, and they're also great at taking care of the ball. They are 2nd in the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio. As a team, they've had 20 or more assists 5 times and at least 15 in all 10 games of the season. So far today, they've already got 7, and we're not even through the first quarter.
They're giving themselves the opportunities to expand this lead, in Morehead State doing the opposite right now. But Lynn's still trying to get things going. She's going to be the primary ball handler.
Speaking of assist-to-turnover ratio, Lynn has her own really nice assist-to-turnover ratio, 3rd best in the Ohio Valley Conference with 2. So 2 assists to every turnover for her. Feed down low to Benaruga. Just nothing going down low, and another really fantastic defensive possession for the Indiana Hoosiers. A shot clock violation. And Zach, I mean, Morehead State really struggling on the offensive side of things to get any sort of movement.
The ball did not get inside the 3-point line on that possession, Max, and it speaks to Indiana's perimeter defense, their pressure on the ball, but at the same time, a lack of movement for Morehead State leads to a lack of a shot attempt and the shot clock violation.
Yeah, and they've just got great size down low. The Providence transfer, Alyssa Geary, and Mackenzie Holmes down low. Geary and Sydney Parrish have done a nice job kind of filling that role that Alexa Goulbe left. Another transfer, banks in a 3, Sarah Scalia. transferring over from Minnesota. She gets her first triple to fall.
I got to tell you, the outside shooting that this Indiana team possesses, it's so vastly different from years past where they were so inside dominant and trying to win the battle in the paint. Now they can beat you from the perimeter.
Morehead State trying to find some sort of answer. It's Crystal Corley backing down Geary and sent right back. Hoosiers push again. Scalia going coast to coast. Can't quite get the finish, and it'll head back to Morehead State.
Still just trying to run it up, going in transition there. Decent look at the basket.
So 26-4 is where we stand right now with just under half a minute left to play in this first quarter. Sandra Lynn trying to facilitate something for Morehead State. Victoria Charles driving with her right, kicking back out for the three. It's Secchiaroli, can't quite get it to go. Foul down on the floor on the offensive rebound attempt, though. I believe that goes on Geary. So that's one thing Morehead State certainly doing well so far, Zach, attacking the offensive glass.
And Indiana's getting blocked shots that are getting their own defensive rebounds, but Morehead State's being aggressive, like you said, and the ball's bouncing their way with the offensive rebounds.
Shot forced up with just 9 seconds to go, and Benaruga can't get that to fall. Bargesser pushing, trying to beat the clock, lays one up nice and easy, and that'll fall. A nice storybook ending for the Indiana Hoosiers. Beautiful first quarter, and for #1 wins overall in program history. A fantastic leader for this Indiana basketball program as Morehead State starts the quarter off well with a nice lay-in down low by Isabel Gonzalez. Hoosiers pushing on the other end, though. Nice find to Holmes. Can't quite get it to go, but she'll head to the line, Zach.
Yeah, chaotic pace already to start in the second quarter. Indiana's going to want to keep that up. But just to touch on Terry Moore and what she's done for the program in terms of recruiting, in terms of keeping players here and keeping them wanting to play for her and contribute to the program. I mean, some of these new players, these fresh faces, have fit in so seamlessly, and part of it's because of her leadership.
Yeah, that was one of the fears with this Indiana program, with so many great players graduating last year. Alexa Gulbe, we mentioned earlier. Allie Patberg finishing up her career at Indiana. Of course, now she's a coach for Indiana. And then also Nicole Cardano-Hillary graduating as well. But the Hoosiers, as Mahomes sinks both from the free throw line, doing a really nice job replacing that talent, bringing in transfers, talented freshmen like Bargesser and Garzon, who are both on the floor right now. So now a 24-point lead for Indiana. Feed down low. Nothing going there for Secchiaroli, though, and it'll head the other way once more. Lead pass there by Garzon. She wants it back. Hit a triple right here earlier. Can't quite get it to go that time.
That's a gift anytime she misses a good look.
Look at Charles go. And she runs right into a charge.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
First half, Charles kicking over to Corley. Corley stuck right on that Big Ten logo, has to kick out. Charles driving, lays one up with the right, can't quite get it to fall again. Lead pass up to Meister. Meister tries to lay it up, she gets fouled.
Meister running the floor there very well, and it was a nice outlet pass that led her to the basket. 9 players have been in the game for Indiana. 8 have scored. I mean, it's coming in waves. It's coming from everywhere. And you said it. I mean, they're taking advantage. Every defensive rebound, the 4 other players start to run, and the transition offense has really been perfect so far.
So Meister heads to the line, offline on the first free throw attempt. 71% on the year. She scored over 2,000 points at John Marshall High School. In the Post-Bulletin Girls Basketball Player of the Year as a senior. Starting her young career here at Indiana and sinks that second free throw. Indiana up to 40 points. Sandra Lynn working up top, driving downhill, kick out. Charles working on the Minnesota transfer. Sarah Scalia fights through the screen, trying to stay with Charles. Long-range three from Secchiaroli. Offensive board there by Corley, and a travels call. So Corley almost able to come down with it, can't quite corral it. She's second on the team with 20 offensive rebounds. Couldn't quite hold on there.
Yeah, she's a hustle player for this team, but again, everything perimeter oriented on the offense. The ball did not get below the free throw line. Even the drives and kicks, Veronica Charles gets herself close to the paint there, but didn't get deep enough to make the kick out to three a good look.
Meister, a nice find down low. Parrish couldn't quite corral it, but a foul is called. To escape this non-conference slate unscathed. 10-0 record so far as Parrish sinks the first free throw.
Yeah, you know, this morning, Max, we were at shoot-around, and you could just feel how eager everyone was to get back to playing basketball, finish out the non-conference slate strong, and keep that perfect record going as they'll head into exclusive Big Ten play.
Lynn gives to Charles, who drives down low, draws three defenders, kick out for a corner three, no good from Rhodes. Hoosiers push once more. Garzon gives to Parrish, who pulls up for three. Bounces off the front of the rim and no good. And it looks like on the rebound attempt, two players from Morehead State trying to fight for the rebound, and they traveled. Didn't realize they were both there. That's just a communication thing with a young team. A lot of new players, again, as we mentioned in the open, coming over to Morehead State. Inbounds pass to Sarah Scalia for three, no good. This time, Charles makes no mistake on the rebound. Corrals it nice and cleanly. 41-12. Indiana with a big lead right now with 4 minutes to play in the second quarter. Lynn directing traffic.
And Morehead State's just taking so much time to get into any offense whatsoever.
Sarek gives over to Lynn. And another steal there from Sarah Scalia. Corrals running the floor with Garzon. Lays one up, can't quite get it to go. And it'll head over to Morehead State. You mentioned there it just takes a little bit of time for things to develop on the offensive side for the Eagles. Well, it's so tough when you're facing off against an Indiana squad that doesn't turn the ball over very much. You don't really have an opportunity if you're Morehead State to run the break. And so, again, you run into another strength of Indiana, who's so strong defensively.
Yeah, their size and length on the perimeter is staggering for Morehead State right now, and a lot of these passes have been telegraphed. Indiana's been reading them. And again, active hands on defense for the Hoosiers all afternoon, and it's resulted in collecting some of those turnovers.
Charles trying to get something going. Lynn doesn't take shots too often. More of a passer, finds down low, and another travel, this time on Sophie Benaruga.
That time trying for the step through, but again, if you move that pivot foot too early, the official's gonna see it and call it right away.
Yeah, the turnovers starting to mount for Morehead State. 11 turnovers, they're shooting just 18%. Again, Indiana just kind of doing what they do best. Another fine down low to Holmes. She's very talented, can't quite get it to go that time. Lynn taking this rare opportunity for a fast break. Now Charles pulls up from the top. Can't quite get it to go again, and there's a lid that's been placed over this bucket for Morehead State. Alyssa Geary back to Moore McNeil for three, and it rattles through.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
When you're down at this margin, oftentimes a coach will head into the locker room and say, you know what, let's just play a clean slate, try and win the half. That's what Morehead State will need to try and do, kind of put that first half aside as Sandra Lynn gets right back to trying to direct the offense. Veronica Charles gets past Scalia there. I don't know if Scalia just kind of got tripped or what, but one of the big issues in the first half is Charles has to force up a three. Try a shot clock violation there.
Trying to draw the foul, maybe bait the official into calling a foul on the three-point desperation heave, but you're absolutely right, Max. I mean, Coach Petrie is going to tell her players to come out, play hard, compete, clean up the mistakes they did in the first half, but for Terry Moore, and she's going to tell her players, treat this score like it's nothing. We still have some things that we need to work on, and we're able to do that.
Garzon pulls up from the right little elbow right there. And Corley gets one to go there on the fast break for Morehead State. Fast breaks did not get too many of them in the first half. Crystal Corley takes advantage right there.
Yeah, easily their quickest score of the game, and that one in transition.
Scalia up top, driving down low on Lynn, then just decides to pull up for a floater. Beautiful drive there by Sarah Scalia.
Corley did a great job of denying the post feed into Holmes, but then it allowed the paint to be wide open, and the floater was able to fall.
Victoria Charles handling again. Nice move going to her left. Puts one up with the right, just kind of uncontrolled, but another offensive board. This time Charles fires from three, cannot get that one to go.
She's got a very high arcing shot.
Yeah.
She's able to get it over the taller defenders.
Moore McNeil slices through, then kicks out to Parrish. Can't get the roll. And a foul on Indiana. It'll head the way of Morehead State.
That was a great drive and kick. I mean, that's what Morehead State's been trying to do on their end. Get into that half circle inside the paint and then kick it out for the three-point shot. Indiana's been able to get that deep penetration, but the Eagles have not.
Yeah, and as Moore McNeil kind of fills into this lead guard role with Cardano Hillary graduated, Grace Berger right now one of the stars on this Indiana roster, out right now with an injury. She hasn't played since Auburn. Moore McNeil really blossoming in the role as Parrish gets the steal, takes it all the way, and scores for Indiana.
We're talking about a player that's thrived in their role and been unselfish the entire time. Whether Parrish starts or whether she comes off the bench, she's comfortable doing whatever it is Terry Moore asks of her on either end of the floor, getting the steal and bucket there.
Sandra Lynn handling the ball. She's got a really fun story. She came all the way over from Taiwan by herself, wanted to make it here in the Americas at the next level, play in college. She started at the junior college level at Georgia Highlands. She was there with her teammate and current teammate, Crystal Corley. Georgia Highlands was the only school to offer her a full scholarship. But the head coach for Morehead State, Caleb Petrie, watched her all the way at Georgia Highlands, as she was a coach at the JUCO level as well, and had an eye on her and brought her here to the Division I level.
Lynn's got a phenomenal story, Max, as she drives here.
Yeah, I was reading a cool article on her written by Kevin Martinez. Lynn, her parents get up at 5 a.m. to watch her in Taiwan. Obviously a big time difference. Love to watch her play though, as Holmes works down low.
She's got a group up there in the top deck away, and there's a sign that says number 3, Sandra Lynn, Taiwan underneath, if you can see up in the stands there. So she's got some fans in attendance, possibly family in attendance.
Oh, I do see that.
Just a terrific story.
Yeah. Well, if they're fans, maybe family, it's awesome if they got the chance to see her play, but yeah, she's just really enjoying her journey. It's a cool story to read about.
How about Corley grabbing that offensive rebound?
Yeah. Veronica Charles resets. That's something Morehead State has done really well, is grab these offensive boards. Lynn trying to work down low. Nice find to Corley. Working on Garzon, just can't get the finish.
Got a good look, though, and Lynn was directing traffic the whole time, telling her to cut to the basket there, and they got the good look.
Garzon goes up and just stripped, and it'll head the way of the Eagles. So right now, a little bit more of a slow-paced game in the second half. First half really got off to a jump start.
Indiana got out to their early lead in what seemed like the blink of an eye.
Reset here. Mona Zaric getting her first few minutes. She averages about 8 minutes per game. She's played in 5 so far this year. As Lynn drives, fakes going up, nice kick out to Charles for 3.
There you see the ability to spot up there, and that was the best drive and kick, absolutely, of this quarter for Morehead State, and their 2 best players connecting, Lynn and Charles.
Yeah, and again, when we were talking to Coach Petrie of Morehead State, she just went on and on about Charles and Lynn, called Veronica Charles a busy bee. She does everything all over the floor. Lynn pulls up. Offensive rebound corral, but just can't get anything to go down low. That's been consistent all game as Lynn forces a turnover.
Yeah, those can pay off. You have to cheat as the defender if you're going to want to try and cut that pass off, but the pass was thrown so hard that with Lynn cutting in front of Parrish, she had no sight of where the ball was going to go, and it deflected off of her.
Well, it's been Veronica Charles and Sandra Lynn back and forth on a few straight possessions here. Lynn just trying to force that one down low. She used to play there,
yes.
And then that's where she got her head coaching start, as at the time one of the youngest head coaches at the junior college level.
You talk about where this program has been and where it's trying to go. She's going to be a part of that journey with these players. Obviously, no players returning from last year, but to go through a year like this where she's seeing improvement in the program, she's seeing improvement in her own coaching abilities, that's part of their journey as a program, trying to raise their way up to the level of the Indianas of the world.
Sydney Parrish, ball just bounces off her feet. Charles makes a dive for it, and Lynn pushing the pace. Goes up herself, just off target.
Yeah, Lynn trying to be aggressive there, which I think was the right decision, but how about the hustle from Morehead State in this half, even down by 33, still showing the ability to dive for loose balls.
Parrish, after the turnover, pulls up there and sinks it.
I mean, they're showing heart. They're not going to lay over, and Indiana's got the sizable lead, but specifically Lynn and Charles are trying to light a fire under them right now.
Sydney Parrish up to 9 points. 52-17, the lead for Indiana with about 3.5 to play in the third quarter. Veronica Charles lost it a little bit there, then corrals it. Late in the shot clock here. Benaruga has to force something up, and another shot clock violation.
Yeah, she's been facing up on her defender. She has the ability to shoot over the top. She was very aggressive in the first half, but that time just not aware of how much time was left for her to make that move to the basket.
I was going to say earlier when we were talking about Cisco, I had to pull it up, make sure I got the name right. When I was talking to Coach Petrie, she mentioned she was just a little late to the phone call because she was on the phone with her granddad, who's back home at Cisco, Texas. Just want to give a little shout out. He's going to be 83 years old soon. Herman Aker, hope you're doing well and checking out, enjoying the game. She also told me Cisco, Texas, the home of the first Hilton Hotel.
Really?
Yeah. Little trivia there for you. As Lynn able to find an outlet. Down low, it's Isabel Gonzalez.
When I get on Jeopardy, Max, I will credit you for me knowing that.
That's your game winner, maybe.
Yeah, that could be Final Jeopardy.
Thanks to Herman Aker in Cisco, Texas.
Absolutely.
All right, 54-17. A little over 2.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Geary working down low. Gets that one to go. Alyssa Geary, again, one of the transfers who came into this Indiana program. Played 4 years at Providence, started all 30 games her senior season. Was on the all-academic team in the Big East. A really nice talent off the bench. Brings some size to Indiana as well.
Yeah, size and scoring ability for Geary. Over 150 points in her Providence career.
Nice backdoor find to Lynn, who just tried to force it out there. Didn't want to go up against some of the bigger size down low that Indiana has. Garzon gets it on the other end for 3.
With the way she's going right now, that's a layup for her. The team sharpshooter, she's had 6 games max where she has made multiple threes. Now after this one, it's up to 7.
Yeah, and Coach Morin very impressed with how she's adjusted to playing in the United States after, again, coming over from Renana, Israel. Her older sister plays in the United States as well for Oklahoma State. Charles lays this one up. Can't draw a call, so Bargesser heads the other way. Alexis Bargesser drives all the way down, then gives to Geary, who walked.
Yeah, Geary just indecisive there. Didn't know if she should go up for the shot right away or try the drop step. So many travels, Max, are just when the player is indecisive. They have the ability to either shoot on the catch or drive, and when you're in between, that's when you end up moving your feet before you dribble.
(59-17), just over a minute to play in the third quarter as Indiana taking care of business so far against Morehead State. Eagles kicking it out to Secchiaroli. Now Veronica Charles coming around the screen. And just nearly stolen away, but a foul is called down low.
Morehead State's getting in the paint more, and while the point production hasn't quite been there, the facts are that the looks have been better because they're getting in the paint.
So Linda inbound. Can't find anyone quite yet and just turns it over on the inbounds pass.
Yeah, she's a very aggressive passer, sometime to a fault.
Yeah. So Garzon with under a minute to play. Outlet, Geary. Can't quite get the 3 to fall, but an offensive rebound by Mona Zaric, but it just trickles off her leg and out of bounds.
Geary only now with 5 3-point attempts in games on the season, but I gotta tell you, she was shooting a few from the top of the key pregame. I counted 7, 8 makes in a row, so she's got the ability.
No doubt. I mean, really up and down this roster, Indiana can threaten from deep. They're shooting 36% from three-point land on the year. Leading that charge is Sarah Scalia. She's hit 21 threes. She's actually second on the team in three-pointers. Leading that is Yardon Garzon. As she drives now at the end of the quarter. Nice dump off there to Alexis Bargesser to beat the buzzer. Always love as the holiday season comes right around the corner as Zaric lays that one in. The non-conference slate starts to wrap up, come to a close, and then conference play just around the corner. That's always a lot of fun. The Big Ten, so good, so strong in women's basketball once again this year as always. Lynn fires from 3 and gets that to go. You have to wonder, where was that in the first half? I mean, she sinks her first triple she's attempted.
Yeah, Lynn, who's been an aggressive passer, aggressive with the shot there, found it from the top of the key and knocked it down.
Scalia on the other end. Laura McNeil kicks out to Sandvik. Tries to find Holmes, who's hounded by 4 defenders. And there's that foul call as there was a rugby scrum on the ground for the ball. It'll head the way of Morehead State. They've been really scrappy, Zach, in this second half. Down big at the break, but again, they're not giving up.
That was one of their best defensive sequences.
It was.
Hounding Mackenzie Holmes, who brought the ball below her chest, that's a no-no as a big because it allows the guards to go in there and try and pick it out. Exactly what Morehead State was able to do.
Lynn driving in, kicks out to Rhodes. Lynn working. Now Charles, and there's an illegal screen.
That's always tough on dribble handoffs because you almost want to act as a screener, but again, it's just a dribble handoff. You're not officially setting a screen, so the official's going to watch for you to move as the ball is transferred from player to player, and that time an unfortunate turnover.
So Zaric checks out, and in comes Sydney Parrish. Scalia from the corner. Gets that one to fall. As we were talking about as the third quarter came to a close, Sarah Scalia second on the team in threes, only to Yardon Garzon. 3 there off the mark from Charles, and Indiana pushing the pace once again. Scalia driving on Charles, lays one up strong off the glass, got it to go, and a foul.
How about a quick 5 from Scalia?
Yeah.
The corner 3, and then the dribble drive, hang in the air, and finish on the foul.
Very experienced player is Sarah Scalia, putting together a little mini run of her own. Scalia up to 12 points on the game. And gets the one attempt to drop. She'll check out. Alexis Bargesser comes in as the Hoosiers bring in more young blood on the floor. 2 freshmen right now. Hannah Sandvik, Alexis Bargesser in. Actually 3 freshmen, Lily Meister in there as well. Travel down low. Sophie Benaruga upset with the call, but a walk.
That's happened a few times to Benaruga when she picks up her dribble in the post.
So it's a mix of experience with Chloe Moore McNeil and Sydney Parrish as they connect right there on the triple.
Parrish has been red hot over her last 5, averaging 16, and that 3-point percentage only going up.
Sydney Parrish now with 12 points. Right at about her average on the year. She played 54 games total in her 2 years at Oregon. Started all 32 games last year and then came back to her home state here in Indiana. Double comes there from Parrish, and nice defense both from Sydney Parrish and the freshman Lily Meister. Talented freshman class for Indiana. Bargesser kicks out, now down low. Lily Meister can't get it to go.
It was a good idea on the turnaround, and the miss almost fell right back in her lap.
Hoosiers now up by 52 points with just under 7 minutes to play. Lynn driving, gets a little space. Nice find there, laid in by Sophie Benaruga. Again, it's under really tough conditions against the number 4 team in the nation, but you can see little glimpses here. And as you get into conference play in the Ohio Valley Conference, Lynn is going to be a great distributor for this squad.
She's just a fun player to watch. Gives it her all every time she's on either end of the floor. And then some of these passes that she has the ability to make, I mean, just showcasing her vision as the point guard.
Moore McNeil gets trapped, kicks over to Parrish. Can't get it, but a nice offensive rebound there from Meister. These freshmen are getting valuable minutes. Here late in the game, that's another opportunity that when, you get up by such a large margin, you get to play some of the younger players who may not get experience in games like, I was about to say in bigger games against teams like UNC, who came in with the number 6 ranking, but some of the younger players got opportunities to play even in games like that because Indiana just blew the doors off of North Carolina, beating them 87-63. That's one of their 2 victories over ranked opponents this season. They also took down Tennessee, who was 11 at the time, at Tennessee's home court, 79-67. Indiana certainly, again, as we said from the jump, putting together a really special season so far through the non-conference slate.
Off to a great start, and if their 2 games already in Big Ten play have been any indication as Moore McNeil knocks down the mid-range jump shot, the conference is going to be tough to win, but Indiana has fared well so far, beating Penn State in their last game and narrowly beating Illinois here at home.
Jump ball called on the floor. Yeah, the Big Ten always tough to play in.
Yeah.
Last season, Indiana advanced to the Big Ten title game for the first time in 20 years. They're looking to get right back there this year.
They've got the team to do it. What these non-conference games can give you, as you talked about, is valuable minutes for the freshmen, and that can only add to your depth, not only this season, but in seasons to come.
Lynn resets up top with 10 on the shot clock. Sarek pulls up for three. She hit one earlier, can't get it to go there. Nice board by Henna Sandvik. Feed down low to Mona Zaric, got it to go.
Another nice transition opportunity for Indiana there. Threading a pass inside and scoring in less than 5 seconds.
Quick buckets for Indiana, really headlining this 13-2 run that they're on over the last 3 minutes. I mean, they've just been putting together run after run. A steal there by Lily Meister. The freshman running the floor, finishes off with a nice lay-in off the glass.
And again, just showing off the versatility of going coast to coast there after getting the steal in defensive end.
Meister trying to show us she's not just a big playing down low. She can run the floor too, why not? Showcasing all the skills today.
Those are some of the most exciting opportunities for taller players that aren't used to handling on the perimeter if they can get the steal and go coast to coast.
Oh, no doubt. I tried to run the point guard every now and then as another feed to Meister. Putting on a showcase. Welcome back in, folks, to Simon Scott Assembly Hall as Indiana taking care of Morehead State. Second to last game in their non-conference schedule. Beating the Eagles by 80-22. Nice play, though, down low by Crystal Corley. Again, the fight in this team very clear. And, you know, the mission for this one for the head coach, Kayla Petrie, she was talking about how her goal for this squad is to end up in the NCAA tournament. The only way, she said, is typically to do that is to win the Ohio Valley Conference. And even then, they'd end up playing a 1 or 2 seed. And so a game like this gives them experience. She said Indiana plays like a 1 or 2 seed. Again,
sure.
Obviously ranked number 4. Just off there, draws a little audible groan from the crowd. Second one on the way. Gets that one to go.
There you go.
Makes good on one of those attempts, 81-24. Corley gives to Rhodes. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Haley Rhodes, her twin sister on the team, Jaden Rhodes. Their dad was a D1 athlete, so plenty of athletics in the family. Barges are working up top. Zaric tries her luck from 3, got it to go.
That is her first made 3 of the season. It was great perimeter ball movement there, starting with Bargesser, moving to Geary, and then ending up in the hands of Zaric.
Yeah, I mean, when we said earlier that Hoosiers were firing from all cylinders from three-point land, that wasn't limited to just a few players, really everyone trying to fire from deep. Morehead State, late in the shot clock. Once again, they've been there so many times in this game. Another shot clock violation. Turnover number 24.
And just not being aware of how much time is left. It's not being called out by anyone on the floor. And then when you're trying to make a move like that with time running down, you're looking down at the dribble. They've been turning the ball over, so you want to make sure you don't do so on your own end.
And Ariel Wisney checks in for her first minutes of the contest as well. Under 3 minutes to play. Indiana emptying the bench. 3 freshmen on the floor right now, excuse me. Sophomore and Zaric, who just made that 3 last time down. Wisney, a redshirt junior, has the ball down low. Lays one up, can't get it to fall. Offensive rebound there by Lily Meister.
Meister's been everywhere. She's impressed in her time on the floor, whether that's running it, getting steals and running in transition, or just running the break as the tallest player out there for Indiana.
Just 4 seconds on the shot clock here on the inbounds play. Gets it into Sandvik, can't quite get the bounce. Morehead State pushes. Lead pass down to Sekiaroli. Now over to Benaruga. We got a foul call.
Benaruga should have shot that three. She had a good look there. She's been driving more in this half.
So the Hoosiers, just want to note this, they're up by 60 right now. The largest margin of victory for Terry Morin in her tenure is 64 in 2019 against Nicholls State. So Hoosiers just putting that on your radar there if you're keeping track. The first free throw is off target from Benaruga. Benaruga in the last game they played had a career high 19 points against USC Upstate, averages 10.1 on the year. One of the leading scorers on this squad, right behind Veronica Charles. 84-24 with 2 minutes to play here in Bloomington, Indiana. Argesser up top. The freshman working on Haley Rhodes. Now gives over to a fellow member of her freshman class. Now to Mona Zaric, can't get it to go. Offensive board from Wisney, and she lays it in.
There's a great box out there. Knew exactly where the ball was coming to her off the rim and laid it in.
It's a simple game, Zach, and Wisney just made it look pretty there. Hoosiers up 86-24, that shot off target there. That was by Valentina Sark. Hoosiers push again. Bargesser. Freshman to freshman to freshman, can't quite get it to go from Sandvik. Another offensive board there from Ariel Wisney, though.
Yeah, she's working hard right now on the offensive glass, drawing the foul there.
I don't think our camera quite caught it, but she turned over to this side of the stadium, give a quick huff. She's putting in work out there. Showing off her free throw form a little bit too.
Shake that wrist out. A little sore, grabbing all those rebounds.
It's hard work down there. Gets the second one to go. Wisney now with 3 points, and the Hoosiers lead by 63. Towing that line there. The largest margin of victory. 1 minute to play. Steal there from Lily Meister.
That's her second one.
Sandvik pushing. Bounce pass down low and tipped out of bounds by Morehead State.
Yeah, Rhodes got in there, saw the bounce pass coming. There's no chance Indiana knows they're on the brink of setting a record.
You're telling me someone doesn't have the game notes up on the bench?
No shot.
I mean, just the way they've been playing so far today, though, they might just hit it anyways. Beautiful distribution.
That was blocked.
Nice defensive play, tipped around and kept alive. Sekiaroli bringing it down the court now. 10-second differential between shot and game clock.
It's not going to happen, Max, because Indiana's not going to shoot if they get the ball back.
No, they're not. So it'll be close, but not quite. 24 seconds left in this matchup. 3 on the way from Lynn. Can't quite get it to go again. She hit one earlier. And Indiana can hold for a 63-point victory over the Morehead State Eagles, and the number 4 team in the nation just keeps rolling. 87-24, Zach. They were dominant all the way.